version of the truth. It wasn't rumor. It was organized manipulation. One person played the sympathetic voice, pretending to care while subtly painting you as unstable. Another collected evidence, screenshots, messages, moments, to back up their lies. Someone else was tasked with checking in on you, not from concern, but to gather fresh information to report back. And then there was the amplifier, whose job was to make sure the story spread, reaching people who barely knew you so they'd accept the narrative without question. The confessor said they were the one who stayed closest to you, the one who listened when you cried, who told you they understood, who hugged you when you were breaking, only to relay your pain to the group moments later, twisting your vulnerability into proof of your instability. They said it became disturbingly easy. The group made it feel justified, like betraying you was a noble act, like manipulation was protection. They shared screenshots, hundreds of them, of group chats where your name appeared again and again, alongside laughter, mockery, and casual cruelty. They joked about your struggles. They celebrated when people drifted away from you. They monitored your life like spectators at a show, treating your humanity as entertainment. But what's most chilling is the structure they built around your reactions. They had a system for it, what they called provocation protocols. They'd deliberately do things to unsettle you, then feign innocence when you reacted, cancel plans, exclude you from events, feed you half-truths, say things designed to trigger emotion, then stand back and whisper, "See? That's what we mean." They built traps where no response from you could be right. If you got quiet, you were cold. If you spoke up, you were dramatic. If you smiled, it was fake. They made sure you could never win in the story they were telling. And through all of this, you were just living, trusting, trying, believing that people meant well. You had no idea that every kindness was being measured, every reaction was being recorded, every conversation was being dissected in real time. You didn't lose friends. You were infiltrated. You weren't being paranoid. They were being methodical. And now that the truth is out, now that one of them finally let the mask slip, the whole illusion is collapsing. Everything you thought was coincidence, every moment that didn't feel quite right, it wasn't in your head. It was planned. It was coordinated. And it's finally, gloriously unraveling. You could have gotten engaged, and they'd still find a way to twist it into a performance, labeling you as desperate for attention, as if happiness in your own life was somehow an insult to theirs. You could have told a harmless joke, and they'd whisper that you were being inappropriate, too much, out of line. You could have chosen silence, kept your head down, and they'd call you cold, withdrawn, antisocial. You could have shown vulnerability, and they'd brand you unstable or manipulative. The truth is, there was never a version of you that would satisfy them, because acceptance was never on the table. What they wanted wasn't understanding. It was validation of the story they had already written about you. They weren't seeking truth. They were hunting for proof to reinforce the lie. And every time you showed up, every time you existed in your own skin, they dissected you afterward, holding post-event evaluations like some grotesque tribunal. They'd gather to analyze your tone, your body language, your smallest expressions, searching for anything that could serve as confirmation